Hey, welcome to Touchdown&Tackles. I'm your host, Chris. How you guys doing today? So, we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about the 5 head coaches who I believe were on the hot seat in the NFL. I mean, these are guys that they've had some success, lead a team to a playoffs, deep playoff runs. But you just look at it recently for these guys and you're starting to see here and wonder. So at number 5, I'm gonna have to say Zach Taylor of the Cincinnati Bengals. Now they have made some really great offseason moves, upgrading the defense, which was a weakness for them last year. I mean, it's been a weakness for them pretty much ever since their Super Bowl run. And then an AFC Championship appearance the season after. So I think Zach Taylor's on the hot seat because they have missed the playoffs for 3 straight years. And Joe Burrow has been healthy for about maybe 2.5 of those last 3 seasons. People say, "Oh yeah, but when you don't have your quarterback, you're not going to win," and he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. All true. But I just look at Zach Taylor, okay, yes, 4 out of his 7 seasons so far, because he's going into year 8. He's, won 10 games or, at least 9 games. 10-7 the Super Bowl year run, 12-4 the next year, and then back-to-back 98 years. And then last year, everything just kind of fell out because they had no defense. And I just look at it and it makes me wonder, is he the right guy to really take this team to that level? Is he really the guy for Joe Burrow? I know Joe Burrow pushed to keep him and all that, but come on. You got the second best quarterback in the league, arguably the best wide receiver duo in all of football. I just look at, their running game hasn't been great since they let Joe Mixon go on free agency. The offensive line has gotten better. It's growing. I look at a lack of just playing under center in offense, a little bit more of an explosive, efficient running game, and then that defense. So I think Zach Taylor, number 5. Coming in at number 4, I'm going to actually have to say Shane Steichen with the Colts. Great offensive mind. He's had 9 and 8 seasons. He's done miraculous things in regard, even with the quarterback situation that he's had throughout his tenure, with the exception of the first half of last year with Daniel Jones. But it's like, come on, if you don't get this team to playoff, and this team has talent on both sides of the ball, it's not a lack of talent. If he doesn't get this team at least to the playoffs, and potentially a playoff win, I think he's going. Again, he's a great offensive mind, and he may just be suited potentially just to be an offensive coordinator, but we'll see. So at number 3, I'm going to have to say Todd Bowles with the Buccaneers. He led the Bucs to 4 straight playoff appearances after taking over for Bruce Arians. But it's been kind of the same. It's either 9 or 10 wins, a couple of playoff wins, in the wild card, and then, you get bounced out. And his side of the ball, his expertise is defense. And I'm sorry to say, but ever since that Super Bowl run in the season after, that defense hasn't been that great. People can look and say, well, they have a great run defense. Part of that is because teams can throw the ball on their secondary. That's only part of it. I think they have a good run defense, but if the teams are not running the ball as much, of course, statistically, is going to make you look good. But I just think that he just hasn't been able to get him over the hump. Yeah, now you got the whole Baker Mayfield contract situation. if the Bucks don't win this division and not just make the playoffs, but win multiple playoff games, I just think Todd Bowles is going to be gone. Coming in at number 2, I'm going to have to say that my next guy that's, on the hot seat, and I like this guy a lot, and I think he's a pretty good NFL head coach. Believe it or not, Nick Sirianni. I wasn't gonna want to put him on this list, but when you really dive deep into it, yes, he's taken the Eagles to two Super Bowls. He's won one. They've pretty much been in the playoffs every year, but the issue on his side of the ball, which is offense, you can't keep going this way. Every other year, you end up bringing in the right offensive coordinator, and then you guys win. Team is too talented for that. And I think that Nick Sirianni, he's got to get consistency with his offensive coordinator in that offense and understanding the strengths of his offense and the players he has. And they got to make a deep playoff run for him, in my opinion. I think they got to at least, say make it to NFC Championship game. So, my number 1 head coach on the hot seat. I'm going to basically say Kevin O'Connell. I think he's a good head coach, but if he can't figure out this quarterback situation with that roster, I don't know. He needs to. They need to make the playoffs. He needs to get a playoff victory again. Actually, he just needs a playoff victory. I don't think in his career he has that. Because I think that if they don't win this year and they don't make it to the playoffs and get a playoff win, I think there's going to be some major changes in Minnesota. So this is going to be a big year to see who is this quarterback moving forward. Is it Kyler Murray? Is it J.J. McCarthy? You got the best wide receiver in the league. You have a very good number 2. You have one of the best tight ends in the league. You have a good offensive line. You have a solid running game. And then Brian Flores in that defense, come on. That defense has kept them in games, basically, with the quarterback play they've had. So I think that if he doesn't make the playoffs and he doesn't get his first playoff victory, I think that there could be some changes going on in Minnesota. So there you have it, folks. Those are my 5 head coaches that are on the hot seat. Like this video, subscribe to the page, and I'll see you guys next time.